Hi guys, this is Miss Faina again. Today we're going to do operations with polynomials. So we're going to start with adding or subtracting, and we need to write our answers in standard form. So remember, when we add and subtract, okay, we combine like terms. So if I'm looking at example A, I notice that I am adding because of this plus sign in the middle. So you have to look for the sign in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop the parentheses because nothing's going to change. I'm going to say 2x cubed plus 9 minus x plus 5x squared plus 4 plus 7x plus x cubed. And then I'm just going to combine like terms. And if I want it in standard form, I need to make sure my variable with the highest exponent goes first. So if I'm looking, my biggest exponent is an x cubed. So I have an x cubed here and an x cubed here, and I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to add them. So 2x cubed plus x cubed gives me a 3x cubed. So I'm done with those. And then after x cubed comes x squared. It looks like I only have this one right here, so I'm just going to bring that down. Nothing to combine it with. And then x comes after x squared. If I look, I have a negative x here and a positive 7x there. So negative x plus 7x gives me a positive 6x. I'm done with those. And then it goes to my constant, my variable, or my number without a variable. So I have 9 and 4, which gives me 13. And that's all there is to adding polynomials. Looking at example B, I notice now I'm subtracting because there's a minus sign. It's very similar to adding, we just add one extra step. My first set of parentheses, it stays the same, so I have 3 minus 2x squared. But my second set of parentheses, I need to distribute this negative sign or change all the signs after it. So I get a negative x squared minus 6 plus x. Because I was already negative, I changed it back to positive. And I combine like terms like I did up in example A. So if I notice my highest degree is 2, so I'm going to combine my x squareds. So a negative 2x squared minus x squared is a negative 3x squared. Then I have x, so plus x. And then I take my constants and I add them. So 3 minus 6 or 3 plus a negative 6, it's the same thing. I get a negative 3. Okay, and notice I have 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. My highest degree is 2, which means it's a quadratic. That's from the last video. Okay, so all of that still applies. Let's do one more subtraction. Okay, so I know it's subtraction because of this minus sign right here. I'm going to leave the first parentheses the same and just drop off the parentheses because we don't need them. And then I'm going to distribute this negative sign or change all the signs to everything after it. So it becomes a negative 15x squared minus 3x positive 2. So again, I just changed the signs. So if I look, my highest degree looks like a x cubed. So that's going to go first. There's no other x cubed. After x cubed is x squared. Oh, look, I left off the squared. I would have messed up there. So I have 6x squared and a negative 15x, which gives me a negative 9x squared. Don't forget your exponents. I'm really bad about that. Then after x squared is my x's. So I have a negative 3x because there's nothing to combine it with. And look, I messed up the sign on that 12. That should be a positive. I'm making all kinds of mistakes today. But that's not different than any other day, so it's okay. So now I'm going to add 12 and 2, and I get a positive 14. So there is my polynomial. Since it has 4 terms, that's what we call it, a polynomial. The degree is 3, which means it's a cubic polynomial. Now we're going to move into multiplying. Okay, product just means multiply. It's just, a fancy word we like to use to make us sound smarter. So in A, I have a monomial times a binomial, 1 term times 2 terms. I'm just going to distribute. That makes it easier on us. Remember, when I multiply variables that are the same, I add their exponents. So 4 times 1 is 4. Y squared times y squared, well, 2 plus 2 is 4. Then I do it to the second one. So 4y squared times 3 gives me a positive 12y squared. And if I look, I have a y to the fourth and a y squared. I don't have any like terms, so this is my final answer. Looking at B, it looks scary, but it's really not. We add the exponents when we have the same bases, the same variables, and then it just hangs out if we don't. So if I multiply fg times f to the fourth, I get f. This has a 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. G. Then I do fg times 2f cubed g. Well, I have a plus 2. F to the first times f cubed is an f to the fourth. G times g is a g squared. Fg times a negative 3f squared g squared. I have a negative 3 f to the third g to the third, because again that g has a 1 right there. And then last but not least, fg times fg cubed. I get, let's see, f squared g to the fourth.